So we don't grow our own tobacco. We buy tobacco from the best producers in Africa and outside Africa. The tobacco for cigars is very different from the tobacco for cigarettes. It's got nothing to do with it. The tobacco for cigars takes about 3 years to mature prior to rolling, to being suitable to be rolled into cigars. And of course, the cigars are then aged after that. So some of the best in the world, and this was actually one of the reasons why we started the business, is, in the cigar world, the wrapper, the external leaf, is one of the most important leaves. And one of the best cigar wrappers in the world comes from Cameroon in West Africa. So we source some of our wrapper from there. And then we work with farmers all over, both in Africa and outside Africa.
And processing it into a cigar, it has to go through quite a process. Where are you doing that? Did we even have the skills to do that before you started?
No, we didn't. Africa, as so often is the case, produces top quality prime material, such as coffee, for example, and tobacco, and then that is exported to elsewhere where it is packaged into top class products. So at the time, I happened to be in Mozambique on a different project, and I thought, why don't we produce? We have excellent tobacco here. And we have labor. We have people eager to work. So why don't we produce the cigars here? So I went to the Dominican Republic, and I hired a team of cigar rollers from the Dominican Republic to come to Maputo, not to produce cigars, but to train our team of Mozambican cigar rollers to the same level as in the Dominican Republic. So up to a world-class level. And that was about 10 years ago. And then we did bit by bit, making our fair share of mistakes and so on. And now we have a team in Maputo. We're based in Maputo in Mozambique, and we have a team of top-level cigar rollers.
How long does it take to roll a cigar? I have to tell you, that's something I've never done.
To roll one cigar, it probably takes less than a minute. But the process to get you there and the process to get a cigar from the tobacco seed to a cigar sitting on the shelf at a tobacconist takes about 3 years.
Okay, so a lot of that is the growing. You've got to manage the crop, you've got to harvest it at the right time, you've got to make sure it's of the right quality. All of that, it's basically a process of high-intensive farming.
Yes, you can look at it like making whiskey or making wine. So in a cigar, there's about 5 different varieties of tobacco in it. There's an element of growing the tobacco leaves, but then there's aging of it, there's fermenting of the leaves, which means piling them in a high pile and rotating that pile every day for a period of 9 months. And then you let the tobacco sit and age for a while. Then you produce your cigars, and then you rest and age those cigars as well. And it makes a huge difference, by the way. If you smoke a cigar that is too young, you feel it immediately. So you have to give it time to mature, and for all these aromas to mature and come out.
So when I speak to people who drink wine, they'll have all sorts of phrases to describe the drink. They'll talk about vanilla notes or the hint of chocolate and stuff. And sometimes I try not to laugh at it. Sometimes I can take it seriously. The difference between the cigars you're making that come from here, where the leaf comes from here, and other cigars, is there anything that makes ours sort of stand out?
Yes, our cigars do stand out, but not only because they're African. Our cigars tend to be medium plus in terms of strength, and very easy and agreeable to smoke. If you compare them, for example, for the elephant in the room, which is the Cuban cigars, which by the way are becoming extremely rare and extremely expensive, but those ones are very hard to smoke, and they tend to be constructed for hardened smokers. When I smoke a Cuban cigar, I walk away with a chest pain and a headache because it's really for hardened smokers. Our cigars are more agreeable to smoke. And of course, you don't inhale the smoke, and you don't inhale cigars, and they're pretty agreeable to smoke. Now, just like in wine and whiskey, everyone will find their own story. They will find their own tastes. Does it have hints of this or hints of that? It's the same as in wine. Some you might find it, believable or not. At the end of the day, for us, it's about the experience, and it's about projecting an African image all over the world. We sell in about 12 countries, The one thing we insist on all the time, we don't really dwell too much on taste and tasting notes and all of that, but rather we stress our African identity. And of course, Bongani means being grateful. And that is something that we communicate on all over the place. From Texas to Ghana.
Your target market, Kamal, is it just men?
No. We are increasingly enjoying cigars. There's no more taboo about this whole thing with men and so on. It used to be that your average cigar smoker, you mentioned luxury and wealth projecting that image. It is true, but it's also increasingly an image of, I would say, gratitude and bonding. People invite their friends to come over, enjoy a few cigars together and a few drinks. They're not trying to impress them, they're trying to share something with them. So this image of the forbearing boss in his corner office smoking his cigar, that's a little bit gone. And as you say, women, for example, lots of them enjoy cigars. Sometimes they enjoy maybe slightly shorter ones or thinner ones, but not necessarily. And by and large, by the way, women have very good palates. So they increasingly, I think they represent about 10-15% of cigar smokers now.
Sure. Kamal, thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate it. Kamal Khaiba is the founder and CEO at Bongani Cigars. And obviously, lots of people enjoy cigars. Just remember there's a health aspect to it as well. 6 minutes now to 7.
Steven Grootes.
Taking your calls
On 011-883-0702.
Time for the Friday Biz Blitz on The Money Show. You know how it works. We put out a question. You call us on 011-883-0702, 021-446-0567. If you get it right, we move on to the next question. If you get it wrong, we move on to the next caller. First question. Easiest one of the lot, I thought. You heard a big conversation, lots of anger about this on The Money Show this week. Which sandwich spread, something you tend to put on bread, is facing higher import duties when it's imported into South Africa? Which sandwich spread is facing higher import duties when it comes into South Africa? I'll give you a hint. The Trade Commissioner, I think, is going to tell his mother this weekend what he's done as a result. Which sandwich spread is facing higher import duties? 011-883-0702, 021-446-0567.
Mama Million here, and yes, I am a millionaire. Cascading. What does it mean? So when I say cascading jackpot, I mean that on the last draw of every month, if there's no one in South Africa that wins with 6 numbers, we go looking for a winner with 5 numbers. And if no one wins with 5 numbers, we go looking for a winner with 4 numbers. And so on and so forth. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Fourways.
Uncertainty is rising, but your business still has to deliver. Production targets need to be met. And when your workforce is out of balance, cost is immediate. Too many employees, costs climb. Too few, productivity drops. Workforce staffing helps businesses stay in control with flexible workforce solutions deployed within 48 hours nationwide. When demand changes, your workforce can change with it. Visit workforcestaffing.co.za. Stay productive, stay flexible, stay in control. In case you're on the highway, driving to your first big maize delivery, and something mysterious happens. You stop at the garage to scope the damage. You realize the fuel system's kinda thermokar. You panic, but then you take a deep breath, because you know Hino Care Gap Cover is there to cover anything outside the standard 6-year warranty. From steering columns to ABS control modules, it's the unseen essential in your business. Speak to your Hino dealer. T's and C's apply. Hino, all the way.
The Money Show with Steven Grootes is brought to you by Absa Corporate